Woo! What's going on, guys? Orms Farm coming at you guys again with another video. And yes, I'm alive, man. I haven't done a video in about a week, but sorry about that. My schedule's been a little bit crazy. Going like working afternoon just kind of hits me hard. But anyways, man, let's talk about today's video. In today's video, I want to talk about the Jared Goff versus Baker Mayfield situation. Now, just like I've always said in the past, Twitter always gives me lots of ideas for videos, and this one kind of, this is another Twitter thank you out there. So this one, it needs to stop. I'm kind of hoping that this one can be put to bed soon. You got Baker Mayfield with 14,000 yards, 14,125 yards, 92 touchdowns, 56 picks, 61.6 completion percentage, which is terrible, and 6 fourth quarter comebacks, 7 game-winning drives in 4 years as a Cleveland Brown. 571 yards on the ground, 5 touchdowns, 27 fumbles in Cleveland. I believe he was Offensive Rookie of the Year when he came in. I think he tied Peyton Manning's record for most touchdowns thrown, which is 27. I want to say, I didn't write that down. Threw like 14 picks or something along those lines. Has had a little bit of success in Cleveland, if you will. His rookie year, he did that. Took the Browns to the playoffs for the first time in like, I don't know, 20 years, it seems like. In 2020, I think it was. Had a pretty good 2020. I'm not going to knock him for that. He really did. Other than that, he hasn't really done that much on a loaded team that I think, really good defense, phenomenal offensive line, phenomenal running attack, and some weapons. Not the greatest weapons, but weapons. You had Jarvis Landry there, who's a very good possession receiver, catches a lot of balls. You had Odell Beckham there. You ran him out of town pretty much. Odell's a little bit of a diva. I will say that. But you've had guys there. Austin Hooper's a decent tight end. Donovan Peoples-Jones, who looks like he's kind of developing into something. Rashad Higgins, nothing special there, but you've had some decent weapons, especially in the running game, especially in your O-line and in your defense. You got Myles Garrett. You have some backup there, and you haven't done squat, really. You really haven't done nothing, Baker, except cry and lots of crying, pretty much. Then you got Jared Goff, okay? Been in the league a little bit longer, 27 years old. Baker's 26, by the way. Will be 27 coming up real soon. But Goff is 27 years old, 21,416 yards, 126 touchdowns, 63 picks, 64.1 completion percentage, 84 fourth quarter comebacks. No, 8 fourth quarter comebacks, sorry, and then 10 game-winning drives. 401 yards on the ground, 10 touchdowns, 51 fumbles. The fumbles really stand out for Jared Goff. We all know that. We all know the baby hand situation. It's been his problem since he's been in the league. A guy that's had some success, been to a Super Bowl, had two really good back-to-back years in 2017, 2018. Pro Bowl, I believe he was. I don't know if he was an All-Pro in 2018. He could have been, but I don't think he was. I could be wrong. Correct me on that if I am. But went to a Super Bowl, lost, had a really bad Super Bowl, had a really bad playoffs actually that year, but still made it to the Super Bowl on Todd Gurley's back pretty much, and the defense. The defense played really well up until the Super Bowl. Don't remember what the score of that game was, but it doesn't really matter. I think it was a low-scoring game too. I don't even remember. But he's had some success, but he's also been on a quarterback that's been on the decline since 2000. I'd say midway through 2019, I guess. 2019, 2020. If you want to say he's been on a decline, I can agree with that. We ended up trading for him in the Matthew Stafford trade, and you guys know the story from there. Now, if I'm talking about these two quarterbacks, okay, this is it right here. I'm not saying Jared Goff is some superstar quarterback. I'm really not. This is not about, Jared Goff is so good, how can we even think about bringing in another quarterback? It's not that. It's the Baker Mayfield effect. Why would you want to bring in a guy like a Baker Mayfield their playing styles are, they're a little bit different. They both live off the play action. They both have had success, and they both have had great running attacks. They both had good old lines. Baker's obviously a lot better. They both had some good defenses, and they both had some weapons to go along with all that. So it's kind of like their paths have kind of been the same. Two former number one picks, really good in college. Baker was exceptional at Oklahoma. Jared Goff was great at California, especially his last 2 years. Same with Baker. Heisman Trophy winner. Just played exceptionally well in college. Baker held on to the football in college. He didn't throw a lot of picks. 80 touchdowns back-to-back years. 40 in 1 year and 43 in the next. So 80 touchdowns in 2 seasons through the air. So, and then Jared Goff, the same thing. 30-plus touchdowns his last couple of years. So I think he came out to like 60-something, 70-something touchdowns he threw for. Okay? That's college. So they've kind of had the same kind of path, though. I think they're a little bit different style and play. You would say that Baker Mayfield is a little more mobile. Obviously, he's a little more athletic. I can live with that. That's for sure. But they're basically, you're going to get the same kind of deal. If you were to rank these two quarterbacks, okay, if you were to rank Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield, just say at the top of my head, if I'm ranking these two quarterbacks, I'm putting these guys literally side by side probably. Like I would put Baker at 27 and I'd put Jared Goff at 26, 25. Like they're not really that different. Like you're not going to get a different outcome from these guys. Even though I think Baker is a little bit worse as a pro, I really do. But I think they're very close. They're very similar. They're very similar in play. Everybody says that Baker Mayfield is this tough, gritty kid, which he is. He's the Dan Campbell type guy, man. Dan Campbell would mold him. Mark Brunell would turn him into this all-pro. No, I don't think that. What you're going to get from Baker Mayfield is you're going to get a tough kid. You're going to get a kid that's gritty. But you're not going to get a kid that's going to win you really football games. And I think the same way with Jared Goff. They're not going to turn him into this all-pro quarterback. They're not going to mold him into this different type of guy. It's just that easy. It's just that simple. You're not going to get different results with these two quarterbacks. Like you bring in a Baker and you get rid of Jared Goff, you're not getting better results. We're not going to go from 3 wins to 10 wins because of Baker Mayfield. It's not happening in my opinion. And to all these people saying, man, just get rid of him, just get rid of Jared Goff. You have to understand how the cap works. I personally, you guys know how I feel about the cap. I think the cap is a joke. There's ways around it. It could be manipulated through restructures, bonuses, all that stuff. Kicking the can down the road is what they say. And Brad Holmes seems like he's a GM that likes to kind of work within the cap. He came here, he restructured Goff though. He did do that. So instead of Goff's out being this year, which is 2022, his out is now 2023. This year, if they get rid of Jared Goff, they don't gain any money. I think if they release or if they trade him before June, we have a cap savings of like $650,000. That's it if they trade him. But if they release him, you're not saving a dime. You're spending all kinds of money. And then if you trade him after June, your dead cap hit is like $40 million. You save nothing. You're not saving anything, getting rid of Jared Goff. Bottom line, that's what it is right there. You're not saving any money in 2022. It's not going to happen. So 2023, that's his out. That is his out. If somehow he doesn't work this year in 2022, that's when you can get rid of Jared Goff by release, through trade, whatever way they can do it. Now, with the Baker Mayfield situation, this guy, he got it in his feelings. They brought in Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson became a Cleveland Brown, switched all of a sudden. He was going to go to Atlanta. Then all of a sudden, boom, back to Cleveland. Cleveland offered up some really good, like 3 first-round picks and like whatever else they offered for him. I think it was 3 or 4 picks. They got a nice back. They got a nice haul back. The Houston Texans, they got a good haul. Now, Baker being Baker, got into his feelings. That's fine, whatever. He demanded he get out of there. Now the Cleveland Browns can't find a suitor for him. Now it's come down to now it's come down to that the Browns might have to throw in a pick to get rid of him. And that's probably going to happen, but there's news that he's going to get just right out released. He's going to be released, and then he's going to have his free reign to sign anywhere he wanted to. He demanded that he go to Indianapolis Colts. He demanded that. The Colts laughed at Cleveland laughed at Baker Mayfield for it. I don't understand who Baker Mayfield thinks he is. He demands to go to the Colts. You know what they did? The Colts? They went out and traded for Matt Ryan from the Atlanta Falcons. Going to be 37 years old, 36, 37 years old right now, for a third round pick. Third round pick. That's what the Colts did. It's like I think Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, but I personally think it's just the Philadelphia. It's the Philly Rivers experiment all over again. In my eyes, I just think it's a Philly Rivers experiment all over again. I think Rivers probably should have retired at that point. He was pretty beat up, and that was his last year in the NFL. I think Matt Ryan has a little more juice, but I'm kind of getting off topic. But that's what rather the Colts would do rather than go out and give picks to the Cleveland Browns. It's just there's the thing with Baker is I'm told that he's a top 10 quarterback, which was one of my reasons for making this video too as well. Top 10 quarterbacks don't usually get traded unless they really, really want out, which does happen. Deshaun Watson, his ordeal, all that stuff. Matthew Stafford, he requested to leave too. But those guys are talented quarterbacks. Baker Mayfield is not that talented. He can't really, if he was so good, they wouldn't have brought in anybody else. And now they can't find a suitor. Now the Cleveland Browns can't find a suitor for Baker Mayfield's services. And that, maybe Seattle Seahawks step up. Maybe someone step up. If I was Cleveland, I'd be really trying to push for a trade for the guy, but you're not probably going to get what you want. You probably think you're going to get a second round pick. You're not going to. I don't think you'd be really lucky to if you get even a late second round pick. I would absolutely be on the phone with Roger Goodell saying push that trade through. If that's the case, he's probably going to get outright released by the Cleveland Browns. It's a mess over there in Cleveland. So stop with the Baker Mayfield coming to Detroit because there's not going to be a different outcome. And it's not happening this year. Just the money-wise, because Brad Holmes seems like the type of guy that doesn't want to work like that. He doesn't want to work out of his realm of the cap. He wants to stay within the cap. That's what it kind of feels like to me. He's not signing any big free agents. He's not going after anybody big because A, they're not ready. They're just not ready, and B, they're just not ready. It's the same thing. A and B. They're just not ready, man. They're not going to go out and pay out big contracts right now for a team that isn't ready. And it's hard to get guys to come here. But this Baker Mayfield versus Jared Goff needs to stop. It really needs to stop. It brings nothing to the table. There's nothing positive that this could happen. Like, there's nothing positive. There's not a positive outcome for Baker coming here. It just wouldn't make any sense for the Lions to do this on a financial standpoint and on a win-loss situation. You're not going to win more games with Baker. I personally probably think you would lose more. I honestly do. I don't want to hear how tough he is and he's the Dan Campbell type guy. It's just, it's BS. It's all BS. Stop it with the Baker Mayfield coming to Detroit. He ain't coming. Jared Goff is our quarterback for 2022 at least. They can go draft one. They can go bring in, you know what I mean? And people freaking out about the David Blau and Tim Boyle situation too. You know, they pick up a quarterback in the draft. One of those guys are gone. And it'll probably be David Blau. So Baker Mayfield's not coming to Detroit. I can't see it. If it does, I'd be shocked. The only way I can see it, and I want to end this video, the only way I can see it is if the Lions get multiple picks for Jared Goff. And who on this earth thinks any team is going to give the Detroit Lions multiple picks for Goff right now? You're not going to get a first. You're not going to get a first-round pick for Jared Goff. There's not a chance. I have a hard time believing you might get a second. You just like Baker, you might get a mid to last at the end of the round, second round pick. You might get that. Maybe. I'd say more than you're going to get a third round pick. If you can get a third and a fifth, I don't know. Do they even want to do that? A third and a fifth? Because next year, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But this year, 2022, he's our quarterback, Jared Goff. At least cheer for him, man. At least cheer for him to do something. If you don't like him, and I know 70% of this fan base can't stand Jared Goff, and believe me, I'm kind of one of them that doesn't want him to be the future, but I'm not going to sit here and root for his failure. I want him to be good for Detroit. And if he plays exceptionally well, then I want him to stay as our quarterback. But if he doesn't, at least if he plays a little bit decent, we can get something for him next year. Hopefully that happens. So there's two things. Hopefully he can be really well and do good here, and we can keep him. Or B, he plays well enough that they can get rid of him where they don't think he's our quarterback of the future. They can at least get something for him because he played okay in 2022. Because he is still fit. He is still young. He's only 27. Okay? Both guys are young, 26 and 27 years old. So that's it, guys. That's the video. It was too long of a video, obviously. But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for paying attention. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button in the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos. And don't forget to like and comment. Let's talk about this situation. Baker, you ain't coming here, please. Boom. Go Lions.